Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
Elon Musk has announced that he's going to build a place to start launching rockets south of Crowley, Louisiana. Because when you want to build a state-of-the-art aerospace facility, you need uninhabited space, access to the Gulf, and boudin. Lots of boudin. And speaking of questionable ingredients squeezed into an edible tube, this is Dave and Juan. More!
And 3. Number 2. Follow it with the 1.
Woohoo!
America, how you doing? Good? Us too. We're back. And you are.
You're
welcome. Absolutely welcome. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
And this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
The second week in a row. I don't want to go too deep into it, but do not adjust those of you that are watching on YouTube or wherever, do not adjust your set or your phone or your whatever.
Color correction is okay.
I feel like Superman going to the whatever of tranquility, whatever they called his ice sculpture. So I'm back in the office, back in the studio, and it is white like it's white like a country club in here, man. I don't know if that's appropriate or not, but
how about like a 70s country club, man?
Like it's white like the country club in Caddyshack. It's
okay. There you go.
That's but continued. So the paint fumes have started to fade a little bit. I can also see now why it's something I don't recommend, but I do recommend to people is, man, just throw everything away. It's just take everything off your walls, go through your closets, and it's a painful process. And then once you have it done, and in this case, we got everything painted, there's not a whole heck of a lot I want to put back up, man. You know?
Yeah, but do you want to throw it away?
No, I don't. That's why in the United States of America, the storage sheds.
Good point.
Oh my goodness gracious! You had one for the longest time.
I had 2 for a while.
Yeah.
And then I finally got, I had it for about 5 years when we downsized, and then, after never going there.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, do I really need anything in there?
But you had your stuff. Yeah. So going through that. Now, my wife had a good idea on some of the things we do, like a lot of old either certificates or awards or things that the guys had. You know, look, man, when you're in a house for 20, I think we've been in this house for somewhere between 20 and 22 years, maybe longer. We've been in this house a minute, okay? And the boys grew up in this house and grew up in their bedrooms. And even though, they're not that anymore, now everything's white. I mean, it's all, but you take all these old certificates and diplomas and awards and stuff down, and just stacks of frames. And my wife said, well, look, why don't we just take everything out of the frames and put it all in photo albums?
Yeah.
Right. And that way it's there if anybody wants it. And so I got
a stack. So when my oldest son was always into art, and he took art classes as a kid, and so we must have 20. And I mean, they're like little kid drawings, but they're freaking matted.
It is. Yes. Because
so
when your kids,
you want to throw that away, and my wife says, well, maybe Holden wants it. I said, Holden don't take a bed with him when he leaves.
I don't think he wants this. Yeah. And when your kids do stuff when they're real young, you just think it's just art. Yeah. And it is. It's kind of cute. I still have things on my desk, but I parted with some things, dude. And I never thought I would part with, and a lot of sentimental stuff I kept, but a lot of stuff that I always hung and you realize at some point you're keeping things just for the sake of just because you've had it. You've had it this long.
I've actually scanned notes and stuff like that just so I can get rid of it, and then I got 2 terabytes on Google Drive, so I just stick it there.
You figure there it is. But no, I'm not throwing away.
When I die, nobody's ever going to open that Google Drive.
Yeah, I'm not throwing away my ink pen from college that I took on my test.
That's your lucky pen.
My lucky pen. I'm hanging on to that. That's something that made the cut. But so anyway, so that's that we're still trying to finish up that process. Let me tell you I cannot believe we're not selling this house, Juan.
That's what my wife asked me yesterday because she listened to last week's podcast. And she said, I never heard anybody painting the closets. She said, are they selling the house?
Everybody hears that says, you painted the inside of the closets? Yeah. Juan, we did more than that. We changed all the wall plates, all the light switches, it is pristine white, buddy. Pristine. And it's just a matter of time before me or somebody messes up and nicks a wall, and man, my wife's going to come on.
Yeah, so you got to keep you a can of touch-up.
We do. It's I even took a picture of the can so you can go back to Sherwin Williams and do that. So there you go. So there you go, America. We're going to be whiting out here for a while. Let's see how things go.
Well, speaking of white, I did something yesterday for the first time. I watched a decent part of a WNBA game.
No. And hey, WNBA does not stand for a white NBA.
No.
In fact,
it was the
it's
team.
the
I don't even know the name of the team that Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham are on.
They play for the Indiana Fever.
I didn't see the part where Sophie Cunningham got clotheslined, but I did see. I watched the whole fourth quarter. Dude, that's some bad basketball.
Look, and people will accuse us of being misogynistic or what. No, it's just some ugly basketball.
Right. They can't shoot for nothing.
You can watch, and I want you to do that thought, but you can watch women's golf, and it's lovely to watch because women golfers are better than you. Okay.
Yeah.
You can. Women's tennis is more enjoyable to watch than men's tennis. Very athletic, but they have longer points because it's not all just okay.
Right. It's not all power.
But in both cases, both women's golf, which again is better to watch, women's tennis, which is better to watch, none of these women could compete with the men. They're just too big and strong. And okay. So, but the basketball, man, if it was aesthetically pleasing basketball to watch, you'd say, oh, okay.
Throwing up little soft shots in the lane and doink.
But y'all, it is a construction site. It is brick city.
Then Caitlin Clark was basically running the baseline and got nudged out and grazed a referee, and then the ref called a tech on her for running into the referee or unnecessary contact with the referee. But I think it got.
I was about to say, I'm embarrassed to say
or something.
I don't
understand. So if I followed it right, if you get a technical, you're out for that quarter.
Oh, I don't think so.
Because she had to sit till the end of that quarter.
I think because
I don't know.
Unless the rules are different, I think, but she also has accumulated some techs because after
she's got like 7 through the year or whatever.
And they will suspend you a game.
Okay.
Once that happens, and then I said I'm embarrassed to say that I must, because it might be imagination, but I think Facebook, which I'm on more than I'm on Instagram and these kind of things, I think they've gotten even more intrusive and more eavesdropping and more creepy than they ever were, because I guess I must pause on the WNBA stuff just because I'm going scrolling and it just. I think you probably like me. A lot of times I go through things and think, oh, is this something worth talking about? Is this something worth talking about? Right. So I guess the fact I have paused a few times on WNBA stuff, oh my gosh, you'd swear I was a fan. You'd swear I was, but yeah, I saw the thing that I think that technical was rescinded.
But then, so apparently in the early part of the game,
your favorite player, Sophie Cunningham.
Cunningham got all but clotheslined.
All but
it was a brutal hit.
She got mugged.
And so that girl got booted. But then from the locker room, she basically posted or tweeted white privilege.
So I want to put that into perspective, y'all. And this is where you got to be. I don't say be careful, but this is where it's hard to even have a debate with, like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, how is that appropriate when anybody who's paying attention, right? Sophie Cunningham, is ahead on a fast break. She's shooting a layup there. You're not going to get to it. It's basically uncontested. She comes up. I don't even know the player's name.
Yeah, I don't know her name either. She comes from like center field.
Okay.
Winds up. Arm, like in center field.
Hacked her across basically the face and the neck. Just took her out. In fact, it hit her so hard, she couldn't even kind of stop herself or brace herself. Yeah. She went down hard. Okay. And it was immediately called a technical, called like a level 1. And then when they reviewed it, they realized, oh no, it was more than just an accidental.
Right. It looked deliberate.
You didn't accidentally hit her in the face and neck and clothesline her. You wound up and did that. So you get ejected. And then from the locker room, apparently, you said, she says it's white privilege. And huh? No, you mugged her. Like what?
Yeah, it's like take off, because the girl who hit her had a big blonde wig on. So it's like,
you know what? I was going to point that out. That it just seemed, but here's the deal. Now, again, I don't know what's the record for us talking about the WNBA, but I think we're close to it.
Because we talked about it last week.
Those of you that are tuning in to hear Dave and Juan's take on the WNBA, I am now, it's kind of crossed over for me, Juan, that it's awful. I will not watch it, but I enjoy listening and observing what's happening.
Yeah, right. Didn't you
Absolute
watch the
meltdown. And to their credit, this week, I think there were several others, but 2 that I know is a guy named Enes Kanter, who used to play for the Celtics and other teams. Yeah. Big guy. I think he's from Turkey. Excuse me if I'm wrong. And I think he changed his name at one time to Freedom. He leans conservative, but he was outstanding player. And a guy named Royce White, who was an amazing college player. He was one of the top college players. He actually got drafted by the Rockets back in the day, and he's one of these guys. He has I don't know what the condition is, but he can't fly. He's got phobia. Like he just.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so it's a mental health issue.
Yeah,
but it's kind of tough if you're on an NBA
Makes it
team.
tough to do.
So he eventually, and now he's into politics, and he's a large African American fellow, but he's a very conservative. He's in Minnesota, running for office and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, both Enes Kanter and Royce White came out this week and said they now identify as women.
Yeah, I saw one of them bought a wig.
And they are announcing their eligibility to play in the WNBA.
And now the WNBA is having to have a conference to decide.
They're having to have a meeting to decide what's a woman.
Yeah, it's great. And I saw Dennis Rodman said he might throw his hat in the ring because he used to dress like a woman.
Here's the deal, man. God bless America. Good. And here's what's funny. The people that are furious that these guys and others are saying, oh, okay, let me show you the absurdity of what you're trying to preach to us. And like these guys are being accused of being what, insensitive? When you all are, come on, we can't tell you.
Well, Rush Limbaugh used to say that the best way to illustrate absurdity is with absurdity.
Well played on Enes Kanter and Royce White's part.
It'll be interesting.
But there you go. And Juan and Dave will keep you posted, everybody.
Yeah, I probably won't watch another game.
Probably not.
Parts of a game.
I can't watch the highlights, man. Even the highlights.
I've never seen highlights. My wife was saying, "Are you actually watching this?" No, I just put it on. Nothing on.
Did you see where Clay Travis has offered? And Clay Travis, for those of you that don't know, and I'm not that big a fan of him. I don't think he's that good. I mean, hey, heaven forbid, the guy might be worth $100 million now. He started a company called
Outkick.
He was Outkick, and he's done. He's very smart. He's a lawyer. He's very smart. As far as entertainment.
Does he still do the radio show, Clay and Buck or whatever?
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. Okay. Yeah, they do it every day. They're in the old Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, the Rush Limbaugh stuff.
I don't think either of them is good as Michael Berry. I think Michael Berry.
Yeah, I like Michael Berry.
When Michael Berry decides he wants to, because Michael gets lazy too sometimes because it's hard. Y'all, me and Juan do this, or Juan and I, whichever one is appropriate for you, do this once a week and we have fun with it. But content, 3 and 4 hours a day, is a lot.
And because Michael Berry does
He does a
morning
ton.
and afternoon.
He does. I don't even know how he does
And
it.
he says that he doesn't like to talk about, or if he's done something in the morning, he doesn't like to do it in the afternoon.
Yes. Now, granted, Michael Berry's he's a pretty brilliant guy too. He's a lawyer.
Yeah.
And that's the second time I say somebody's a lawyer, like I'm trying to say like that makes them smart. It makes them smart. It doesn't make them ethical or,
Right.
I know some idiot lawyers. So I'm not a big a fan of Clay himself, but smart what he did. He's got a ton of money. He offered $10 million, $10 million to the WNBA, to the women's, whoever the champion of the team, to play, if they'll play a high school boy championship team from whatever his choice, whatever state he would choose. And I guess his point, I guess, is pushing back on some of the WNBA stuff where they're trying to say, oh, you let men in the league, it doesn't matter.
Or it's, why can't we make as much as men type deal?
Because people have to be paid.
It's not as entertaining, therefore you don't draw the ratings.
Hey, you got one player anybody wanted to see, you dang near killed her. You got a second player showed up on the same team that everybody's interested in, and you're trying to kill her. So anyway, so there you go.
I'd watch that game.
Was that?
I'd watch that.
That would be the highest rated. Are you kidding me? That'd be the highest rated basketball game. That game right there would be more than the NBA Finals. I promise you. But, we will see. Hey, it's we didn't timestamp it earlier. We're doing this on a Sunday afternoon, but beginning this week, in most parts of, I know, Texas, and I'm thinking Louisiana too, right, is first week of school?
Yeah, they started here Thursday.
Never could figure that out. Why do you start a school week?
I can remember when I was in elementary school, we had a half day Thursday and a half day Friday the week before Labor Day. And then we were off on Labor Day. And then we would go full day the day after Labor Day. So we basically didn't start till, the last week of August.
That don't sound like it makes much sense either, but I guess that's what we did.
I don't know.
When is Labor Day is coming up when?
September 1st or 2nd, something like that.
Somewhere,
whatever the first Monday in September is.
It sounds almost made up when you tell people that we used to go back to school after Labor Day. That was a summer, man. August was still your month. You could take vacations mid-August, late August.
Well, I can remember even when my oldest started, they started closer to mid-August because we would go to Florida like the last week before because Florida schools started before. Yeah. So they changed to off-season rates.
Yep. That's the tricks, everybody. My wife still says that. She says because my sons were born in September 8th and 10th, which is school is back in. But my wife.
So your birthday's coming up too.
Mine's tomorrow.
All right. Happy birthday.
All right, there you go. Oh, yeah. This is going to be coming out on my birthday. Yeah. So, all right, we're doing this the day before. So, yeah. We stack them up, man. We stack up birthdays around here. But then my sons were, they're born on 8th and 10th of September. And that was my wife's thing. That was the time to go to Disney.
Yeah.
My wife, she's one of these Disney experts. She just knows when's the traffic. I don't think she still does it, but she would keep the Disney app on her phone. They would tell you what the lines were, the wait at the line, say like at Space Mountain.
Popular rides.
We'd just be driving somewhere doing something. She'd say, "Oh, the wait on Thunder Mountain's only 20 minutes right now."
If only we were there.
I'm like, that's a random piece of information I don't know that I needed, but okay. That's so how did you use? I was thinking about that too when we first week of school, going back to school. I'm trying to remember how big was the pit in my stomach, or I don't know that it was something I looked forward to. There was always the angst of
I don't know.
Because we didn't keep in touch. You know what I'm saying? Like you might have had one or two friends. I might have seen my cousins during the summer.
You didn't have cell phones. You didn't have.
We didn't have cell phones. Didn't have social media. I would.
Yeah, you saw people.
I lived on the street. There were no other guys my age that lived on my street. Now, I had some that lived a couple of streets over, but most of them were on drugs. So you know who you are. You know.
They hung out at Head Hall.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they ever made Head Hall, but later on now, we were living in Cutoff. I was going to South Lafourche, and I didn't really look forward to that much either because high school. Well, I don't know, dude. I'm contradicting myself. I think elementary was okay. Junior high was absolutely the worst part of my life, and high school was the second worst part of my life. And even though I tried not to show it, right? But I didn't enjoy any of it. College ended up being great. College was
I'd still be in college if I didn't have to go to class.
Ain't no lie, huh? You talk about a money-making thing. That's what they should do now is really think about it now, Juan. At our stage in life, I'd live in a dorm,
Please, yeah.
And then my wife could live in the girls' dorm if she wanted to do that.
Yeah. You got your meals cooked for you.
Dude, I would have so much more fun in class now. I would go to class. I would absolutely. I went to class back in the day, but I would absolutely want to sit there and hear and just look at these professors and think, okay, because back then you didn't know to call BS on people. You didn't know.
Right. You'd want to go to classes that were more about open discussion than accounting.
You never challenged anybody. Now I'd be like, oh, wait. What? Where'd you get that? I'm just supposed to believe that because you said it. And just because you're making me regurgitate it on a test and you're going to grade me on it doesn't mean it's right, by the way. Just because you took tests and you might have passed tests doesn't mean you learned anything. You just regurgitated whatever possible lie or, if not lie, just misguided information they gave you. So, what you going to do?
What's different? My daughter's looking forward to going back to school.
Well, yeah. She's busy and she's training, see her friends. I guess so. I used to, the stress of going to Galliana Junior High, you had to go get your new locker. That was always a pain in the
I can remember, it's like, all right, I need one of the top lockers, so I'm not having to squat down on the floor.
That was always the worst, man, when you got that or a middle locker. We had 3. We didn't have 2. Like in Galliana Junior High, it was 3. Man, you did not.
On the hall.
Was
You're
that?
in the A building at Assumption High. You got they were the bigger ones, so those were stacked 3 high.
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. I remember Galliana mostly because they were green. I think they were green. And my dad was the assistant principal while I was there. And I don't know.
I don't think I could have done. I don't know. That would have been rough.
It was rough. I don't think and here's the thing too, Juan. I don't think my dad truly knew how miserable an existence it was for me to have him as the assistant principal because he was also the disciplinarian.
I was going to say, that's always the guy who gets to go hand out the discipline.
So every freaking drug head, bully, whatever there was, hey man, there's a little version of Mr. Martin. So that was the thing,
you've seen the meme where it's, I worked for my dad growing up on the farm, and it's, I've seen the meme that, that don't bother me. I held the flashlight for my dad as a kid. And so I get that, it's you're getting all the ripple from that.
Yeah, but I remember those lockers because my dad, for whatever reason, and I don't know that he volunteered. He probably volunteered for it. He volunteered for some ridiculous things. And one, I still can't believe, and I know we shared this before, but we've been doing this podcast for 30 years, so I can't remember every exact story. But they would issue us a combination lock, right, in Galliana Junior High. You couldn't bring your own.
See, I had my own.
No.
18, 24, 30.
Okay. Well, you could get in trouble at Galliana Junior High if they caught a issued lock. Okay. Yeah. So I guess there must have been a couple hundred or more, probably, more lockers. So my dad would have the locker number and then the serial number of the padlock being issued, and then you'd have to know the combination. And then he'd have to test, I want to say we had to test
the weekend gig.
Oh, dude, did I get paid for that? Hell to no. Hell to the no. But so there was at least a solid day and a half prior to school. And if I'd have been a true diab, okay, I would have paid attention, and if I'd have stolen, somehow got a copy of all the combinations. Because my dad, because we weren't beyond playing pranks on people and doing things, but
swap them up. I think my kids had, the school issued them, but I think it had like a master key it was a combination lock, but I think the school had a key to it or something.
Could have been. Maybe there was a master key, but I know each kid had to be. And you talk about, this is where so when did you get a locker? You got a locker in 7th grade. Okay. So, and again, y'all, things are different now. We didn't have anything called middle school back in the day. Elementary went to 6th grade. That's how it went with us. It was.
Yeah. I went through 8th grade. And then we had junior high for 9th grade.
No, us junior high was 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
And then high school was 10, 11, 12. That made sense to me. Okay. But the rest of the country started freshman year high school. No, that's what made sense to me. But, man, you were handing 7th graders, here's your lock. Well, the lock was already on the locker, but they all got their little slip of paper, and they had to go. But you know what? We all did it. You had to learn. You got to turn it, then you got to turn it past.
Right, past the number.
That first number, and then back. And Juan, I guarantee you, and I'm not trying to. I think kids are every bit as potential-wise, every bit as intelligent as I think the human intelligence is probably it's at least what it was. But man, can you imagine right now handing a bunch of 7th graders the piece of paper and tell them to go and do it? Dang well half of them would be on their phone calling their moms.
Right. I gotta say, I read an article this morning. We talked about this a couple of years ago when the term ghosting about jobs came up, and they're saying that more and more young people are ghosted, like they get offered the job and they just don't show up. But then in reading the article deeper, it said most or just an abnormally high number of young people struggle and have anxiety because of personal interviews because they're not used to communicating in person.
It's 100%. It is. Look, I feel bad because I think you don't know it when you're doing it. We've probably raised ourselves. We've raised our own kids. Now you're different. You got to listen. You got an older kid. You got a younger daughter now in college. I mean, your older son is off. He's wild man. He's everywhere. He's got a family. He's living. He is breaking the mold of the stuff I read now. One of the biggest problems we have in America is nobody's getting married. Nobody's having kids. And I mean, it's a problem, y'all. And they say that a bunch of things that go into that. But I like my younger son. God love him. If you can make him be in the room with you, he's fun. But he don't want to be in the room with you. You know what I'm saying? Like he's one of those. Like if he's hanging out, everybody loves him. But give him the choice. He ain't coming out the room, or he's staying in his car. He ain't.
My middle son yesterday, who for me to it's if he comes here, it's in and out. If he comes here, he's looking for something. And we'll go to dinner every now and then because I'm paying.
That helps.
But so he texted me and asked if I was watching the Hall of Fame enshrinement stuff yesterday with Drew Brees. And I said, yeah, I watched it. And he said, oh man, I wonder how much it costs. He said, I feel bad now. I should have thought about that. I could have bought tickets and took you there and stuff. And I said, yeah, well, that would have been nice. First of all, that would have entailed me. No, I'm not taking it, but I'll buy the tickets and we'll go. But again, he lived here for a year, and I saw him more when he was living in Alabama.
Right, in your own house.
Yeah. He was upstairs. I'd see him when he came to get food, and that was about it. I hear him in the laundry room washing clothes sometimes.
You had me beat there. You never hear mine doing that. That's. But he's the one with more clothes, and he can.
Yeah. So.
Right. We know
We're
what's
talking
fun.
about ghosting again. I tell you one that's not never going to ghost anything. It's my daughter because that girl loves her to get some money. She lifeguarded a party, which is I didn't. That's a thing now where people have birthday parties for their kids and then they hire people to lifeguard the party.
That used to be
And
our job.
yeah, as I said, what do the parents do it?
That would have been you, Juan, standing as. I
That's
can't.
right. I could do it.
Juan, you can't believe how many people have in the last few weeks or last couple of months referenced you standing in the pool to me. Like people say, like I'll be like Juan, just standing in the pool. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I forget people
I was
listen.
I was standing in the pool yesterday, and Joey was in there with a raft, and so I had my arms on the raft, and she said, "Your shoulders are darker than your arms." I said, "Of course they are. My arms stay in the water."
Not quite a farmer's tan, but I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah. So my daughter was scheduled to lifeguard this party yesterday, and then I don't know whoever the little company she works for texted her and her friend that were lifeguard and said, "Well, if either one of you have plans, somebody else would like to do it." And my daughter's response to me was, she said, "I do have plans. I'm lifeguarding a party for $70. That's my plans."
Like me some money.
Yeah, so
Well,
she ain't
it's-
ghosting nothing.
Nothing's well. Good for her. She's got the old work ethic. I have a brother-in-law who's very successful. He's an educator and he does side stuff and he's a Bayou guy, man. I mean,
Yep.
I think about this a lot. Like people think I'm kidding when I say this, but it wouldn't work. I could see myself having a side gig mowing grass. Okay, I just could. Which is weird because I don't cut my own grass now, but that'd be about like me. Do you know what I'm saying? Just that side,
I couldn't do it all day.
that side hustle. Well, the point is, so my brother-in-law has a friend, and I'm not sure what that guy does, but he has a side business, or maybe it's his full-time business. I'm not sure. And you think about it like an industry that you don't know exists, and maybe it's not a big industry, but it exists. And during the summer, he paints parking lots.
Dude, that's money.
Okay, but he does it for bands because people don't realize bands and marching bands that do contests and stuff, they have to have stuff marked off like a field, and because they don't
Like
let
the
them
field.
practice on the football field. So bands around, especially the state of Texas, man, they are out and they practice on concrete or on
Man, that's hot.
on us. Well, so this guy gets paid pretty good money by schools and school systems to paint these things.
And it's a perfect summer gig because, it's cool as clothes.
Okay. Well, it's hot as all get out, right? So my brother-in-law has been doing this with this guy they've done stuff from everywhere. And the guy, I don't know if the guy, he was always giving him a cut, like whatever, he would give my brother-in-law a percentage. And he said, it's pretty decent money. He said, like not just enough to like, all right. But then he tried to change his thing, says, well, instead of doing a percentage, it was just going to be a certain amount. And he said, no, I'm not dying to do that. And then so the guy went out and hired some non-Cajuns, some, people that are just go and think.
Some locals.
Think they're going to put in.
I'm
going to pay you
local, non-locals.
I'm going to pay you $25 an hour to come out here. And people, sounds good. Till you get out there and you got to start at dawn because it gets so hot. And then my brother-in-law said he ended up calling him out of like, hey man, can you kind of help out with whatever? And said he went over there and he got on it. He says there were two other guys on the job. He says those guys stayed in the truck the whole day. He says they couldn't take the heat.
Man, yeah, sometimes it's worth paying more when you got to keep training people.
That's right. And he said because he had something done. He said the guy said, "Man, you done already?" He goes, "Hell yeah, I'm done. It's hot." He says, I'm not taking my time out here. I mean, get it done. But he said, Joe, we had dinner last night, a bunch of us, and somebody said something about, I forget what it was. You like doing that? And his wife says, he likes money. That's what he likes.
Yeah. Work is the means to an end.
Dude, I tell this to people, and sometimes I'm in front of rooms with the people in the room do pretty well. I'm talking to some bankers or various people in that, and they do well. And I always point that out about the job and stuff. I said, listen, man, none of us do this because we're bored, right? Nobody in here is doing this because or for the joy of having something to do. We would all, right? And that's why they call it a job, right? That's why it's if nothing annoys you, if there aren't things that you'd rather not, then it's not a job, right?
Well, well before I decided to retire, I had told some of the people, and I've said before that I worked with a bunch of young people, real young. And I said, here's the deal. When I leave here, there's a pretty good chance I'm never seeing y'all again. He said, you don't mean that? And I said, pretty sure I do.
I know how this works.
So nothing against y'all.
Here's how this works, y'all. Oh, we may run into each other somewhere down the line, or something may happen, and I'm going to say, I saw that person 5 years ago. Oh, yeah. But that's just human nature. You think like, oh, no, we're going to keep. No, you won't keep in touch. No, you won't. You don't. You get the same. You get the same.
So what am I going to come do over here? Y'all are working.
Dude, you and I have been doing this now for what is it? 4
that's
years?
exactly
5 years. We hadn't seen each other.
I consider Dave one of my best friends. My daughter said when my daughter moved to Houston, we both, without a hesitation. Some people said, "Oh, yeah, let's see each other."
No,
hour a week, man. That's a lot.
I know you pop in a couple of times. I'm like, damn, man, you are down the road from me. Thank you for not calling me. That was making. Yeah. Well, we'll do that once the paint fumes wear off. We'll see. So what else? We got.
I wanted to talk about the Drew Brees thing because more on the Hall of Fame thing because everybody's, I don't know, and maybe because Drew was such the big draw, I guess, of the whole Hall of Fame thing. But everybody's mocking that statue. But none of those busts, not statues, but the busts look like the players.
Now here's the deal. And there's a picture out there of Drew standing. I think they did the statue. It looks sort of like he looks now. I don't know what people are remembering, but if you look at
got the birthmark on his hand,
right, and
on his face. I mean,
now I did see something that you can't unsee once you see it. Somebody put Drew Brees' new statue next to Mr. Roper from the from Three's Company. It's pretty. Norman Fell. So.
But go look at the whatever they call it, the rebirth statue outside the dome. That don't look like Steve Gleason.
Yeah, I don't. Well,
But speaking of Drew, I've broken this out before.
Oh, look at you!
As I was watching the clips, I saw him wearing shoes like this. So this is a game-worn cleat by Drew.
Oh, it's a game-worn cleat. I didn't.
Yes.
Help me out here. How'd you get your hands on that again?
Stole it.
You stole it. Well. Okay.
I didn't steal it. It was intended, Raising Cane's purchased it, and it somehow or another never worked to get installed, hung up in any of the restaurants. So, I don't know what to do with it. I'll just hold on to it.
There you go.
10, 12 years later.
Do you know which game was he awarded?
I don't.
I go back and check it out. Hey, but I will say this. I do get a little tired, but this has always been the case with Drew, but it worked out because New Orleans was so starved for a win, for a victory, and for heroes and stuff. So good on Drew Brees. The Drew Brees worship gets a bit much, and it really does. And I'm not understand something.
No, but like this is what I've always, the minute Drew was done, Mr. I love New Orleans. You don't live in New Orleans.
No, he don't. Well, he's not dumb. I mean, I'm sure he still has his place. I bet you. I don't think he ever sold.
I would guess he does. He still got business interests here, but
correct. Yeah. It's exactly right. So it's sort of like, hey, my heart is here. I'm gonna keep a house here because I can afford to have houses all over the country. Right. I'm going back to San Diego. Yeah. Or he may live. Where does he live now? He
I would assume it was San Diego.
There or maybe Phoenix. Phoenix is one that gets a lot of them or something. But he now that all that said. What's Drew now? 40. I'm not gonna. Well, you know what? I said it. So hang on a sec. Let me do what I got to do.
4 years. Well, I don't even remember.
And forgive me, South Louisiana, for not having Drew Brees' birthday memorized like my own children, like some of you probably do. Let's see here. How old is Drew Brees?
I guess 47.
Now, this may or may not be right because I'm doing this on chat. 47. Yeah. That he was born January 15th, 1979. So, 47. You know what? I would rather him be starting for the first game of the Saints. Even though we like the young guy, apparently the young guys are doing all right. But
Yeah, it's still a lot of unknowns.
I do miss, and I know I've said this before, that I was one of these guys that would sit in the dome and saying, man, here's the problem with the Saints. They're paying Drew Brees too much money. He was one of the first ones that signed these massive deals, and it's like, man, the salary cap's all messed up. And this is before we knew that Mickey Loomis was incompetent, what he did. But and there's a reason Sean Payton left, y'all. I'm sorry.
100%, that's why.
Sean Payton helped participate in that, but Sean Payton looked at it and said, we sold the future, and I am out of here.
The guy who I worked with, who I talked about him, he went to Nichols and worked. He was embedded with the Saints media for 4 years or so, and he will tell you that I think it was part of the thing that if they had got rid of Mickey Loomis,
right,
Sean may have stayed.
Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna. But I do miss the days. And they said, I was saying we paid Drew too much, and then Drew retired. And I was like, oh, I was wrong. You go back and look at footage, and it's like, oh man, it was so nice when you had the best quarterback on either team, or you just always knew you had a prayer.
Well, you always had a shot.
You always had a shot and the thing was, if somebody was open, he hit them. I mean, you go back now and realize, man, of course he had to miss sometimes, but
right in their play. I mean, and all you see now is the highlight reels, but that dude could put a ball on a dime.
But so congratulations, he is now in the Hall of Fame. Another future Hall of Famer is joining CBS. One's closer here, J.J. Watt. Because Tony Romo has been suspended.
Are they going to boot Romo?
I think they were
suspended.
I think they were looking for a reason to get rid of him. I've never seen somebody fall so quickly as Romo. Romo's first year commentating, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, Tony Romo is amazing. He's so intuitive, and people even make jokes. It's like, gee whiz, I wonder if Tony could have used some of those skills when he was actually quarterbacking to." But then he became tiresome. He's become a joke.
Yeah, and it was a lot of it. They said he knew the plays because he was studying practice or their practice films or their practice. And then I guess it's like, all right, well, I'm getting paid big money. I don't need to do all that.
And he's not. And they said that he became known for being kind of lazy. And anyway, he got a DUI, which again,
I've also read that CBS or the big people at CBS didn't like him because he basically, had him over a barrel and when his contract renewal came up and took full advantage of it.
Yeah, he got.
It
was a huge amount of money, and I don't know I don't know if it gets voided or what the story is, what's in the contract. I don't know if they put in your contract, hey, you get nailed for a DUI, we can. Yeah. But J.J. Watt is going to take his place in the so Tony's never getting that job back. J.J. Watt's pretty good. J.J. Watt's pretty and my son actually has a signed J.J. Watt Reebok. He had his own brand of shit. But we did a charity game.
Well, they say he's a good guy. I mean, I used to read that he would show up at high school football games in Texas and everything.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. J.J. Watt, and he was a phenom. He was like, it's hard. It's again, when you take things for granted, like how good this guy was. I mean, this guy, again, you'd go to a Texans game and the best player on the field was on defense for the Texans. That guy was just dominant. He was amazing. But he's one of these guys that came not from nowhere, but he wasn't heavily recruited. He barely, he was a late bloomer as football goes and had a good perspective on things. And once he became, successful and then, uber successful, just kind of remembered. And he was one of those guys, I think, that could appreciate the fact, a little bit of my time, or I'm in a position where I can really impact things or make things happen, and he did. So he still has a place around here somewhere, but I don't I think Houston's a little different place. One thing I jotted down here, you're saying, well, like where people live. So I saw that it looks like SpaceX is building, what is it, like a launch
I think it's
They're going to launch rockets in South Louisiana.
Yeah, yeah. That's what they're talking about, like out in the marshland or something.
South of Crowley. It's supposed to be directly south of Crowley.
Yeah. See, they did a lot of people hate on Jeff Landry. He done some stuff that
he runs again. He's going to get reelected. He's going to get reelected, man.
But he's had the forethought to do, like, he would ever pass things like to offer benefits to the rocket industry and stuff. But they're also, is it north of Houston that they're going to build the largest facility in the world?
Tesla is doing this. It's going to be called the TerraFab, and they're doing it. I want to say it's not just north of Houston. It's a little bit more west. It's near, I think, a College Station. It's not far from Texas A&M. It's going to be like 15 minutes from Texas A&M. And Musk said it's going to be the largest and most valuable building in the world by a lot.
Yeah, it's like 100 million square feet.
It is correct. I thought I jotted it down, but I didn't jot. But anyway, it's bigger. I saw a map that showed the size of some pretty big things. You could put everything in it. You could put like the Pentagon.
Yeah, it showed all of the biggest buildings in the world. Apple up to scale on those things.
So they're doing that, and that's supposedly to be. They're going to be mostly manufacturing chips.
Yeah.
And that's going to be
I think it's a lot for Tesla and a lot for the rockets.
Well, and for the robots. People forget that Musk's next big thing, I've heard some people say that when the history books are written, that Elon Musk is going to be more remembered for what they call them, Optimus, whatever the robots that they're going to build. But they need all these sophisticated chips, and regardless of what happens, hey, America, we need that. We need that technology here. But then, dude, right near my house, not far from here in Fort Bend County, they're announcing a $10 billion plant. They're building a solar stuff because Elon's a big. He believes in the sun.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what, if they launching rockets from Crowley, it's not the quickest drive. But I'm gonna go.
Man, listen, I giggle to think a few thousand high-tech jobs rolling into that area. Oh my! I mean, I can't wait for the T-shirts. I can't wait for bruh. Elon ought to name the first rocket he puts up out of the Crowley area, bruh.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But. And there are going to be people fighting it. And here's the deal. And again, I'm not trying to be, I don't want to be hypocritical here. But I trust the Musk plans, even the solar, even though like that's the one we're getting. I'm not a big, I don't know. Maybe he's way smarter than me, and maybe solar panels to me are a joke. Maybe he's got a better idea. I don't know, right? They for the pollution they cause and the material they need and everything, there's just not a payoff on it. They may be a little bit ahead of wind, but I don't know how much more. But like launching rockets, they're gonna be doing that. That's gonna happen. That huge data center that Meta is building in North Louisiana.
Yeah.
Look, I hope it's not the case.
Yeah, I don't know, but this is.
I'll be curious to see if it ever actually happens, and if it happens,
everybody fights everything, or somebody fights everything.
It's going to be obsolete. That's the thing with data centers, though. They say this stuff goes obsolete in 3 to 5 years. Well, what you going to do when you build a mountainous place that is going to be obsolete? What?
You want to talk about, what do they call it? The urban blight.
Yeah.
When you got a shotgun the house that's nobody's using anymon.
And it doesn't need a lot of employees. Like, so maybe for the building. Okay, the manufacturer's going to pump some money, but once
I don't
a
think
data
it's 1,000 permanent jobs.
No, I don't think so.
But you got in Donaldsonville, which is the armpit of Ascension Parish, near me.
I think I saw that on the shirt, Donaldsonville, armpit of Ascension.
So they're building that Hyundai steel plant, and you got people saying, "Oh, it's going to change the community." And it's like, community could use some changes.
That's sort of the purpose. Don't fight that.
But even here, so we've talked about this a few times. We have the St. George community now, which is going back and forth with lawsuits and everything. But they've started beautifying the medians on some of the streets here.
Beautifying?
Look, I'm serious. Dude, they're landscaping the hell out of it. Yeah, they got nice magnolia trees on some. Some have cypress trees.
Okay.
But I saw somebody posted yesterday. Who's the idiot watering the street? Now, if I pass there with my clean car.
First world problems, I know.
Yeah, get the outside lane, bro. You'll be all right.
I got to be honest. I've been annoyed a few times here in where I live, in my neighborhood, that they've never been very. They don't. Let's put it this way: they don't spend a lot of time on the main street through my neighborhood, aiming those sprinklers or deciding when's enough's enough. So yeah, it does get a little frustrating when, I mean, you come out of a car wash.
Here's what I compare it to: drive through Baton Rouge on Interstate 10, and the most nature you'll see there is the overgrowth on the sound walls. So like give me some WD-4. I mean, some Roundup, bro.
I get it. I was driving back from last time we drove back from Louisiana, and I forget where we were, but it was it was in Louisiana somewhere on it must have been 10. It must have been I-10. And they were cutting. They were mowing the median, or maybe it might have been 90 because it looked like, I was going to say it looked like it'd been months since it'd been mowed, but this is South Louisiana. If you get a good bit of rain, hot like it is, but. So the guy, he's on the tractor with the extended arm, and I mean, he's mowing a lot, like in one swipe. And my wife and I had the same thought. What do you think he's hitting? Like what? How much? I mean, like how much crap do you think those blades are chopping into right now? Because
bumper covers.
Well, okay, you better, okay, that's the stuff that accidentally falls off of cars. I still got a problem. Well, I say still, it's an obvious problem. How do people throw stuff out their car? I mean, you're a degenerate, and
I want to so many times roll up on somebody who throws a cigarette butt out the window and say, why are you throwing that out? Because it's going to smell up your car?
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and dirty up the street. Because it's gross, right? I mean, you stop at a traffic light.
Oh, dude.
That's all you see.
Well, what's funny is you go back and look at movies, and movies, they portrayed what was going on at the times. How many times people would be smoking a cigarette on the street or whatever? They just throw it down and stomp it out with their foot.
Oh, yeah.
And that was just accepted, man. It was just accepted litter. And that's what it is. You know it if you ever mowed your own grass, man. You hit a cigarette, or cigarette filter into there. Oh, that,
And I just, I don't know. It's gross to me. Like when I was working for Canes themselves in the office, like they was like Todd, the owner, would like if he walked through a parking lot and there were cigarette butts, he'd pick them up. Yeah, and he said, I expect everybody to do that. And I said, bro, I don't know. Give me some gloves.
Hang on, Todd. First of all, you own this place.
Yeah.
Right. If I had and now
maybe if I had $1 billion.
Yeah. I don't know if he So hey, look, there you go. That's the way to be. I'll pick up trash in my street, especially if it's around.
I do. I mean, because now it's all of I'm sure it's been like that in Houston. All of the garbage trucks, it's got the arms, and so if your can's overfilled or you got whatever, who knows what's flying where. And I'll see garbage in my street or next to my can. I say, I know that's not mine, but it's next to the garbage can. I'll just throw it in the garbage can.
I'll put it near whoever's garbage can is the closest. So like it's kind of funny. My wife, if I'm walking down the street, and I'll do that. Or I've been knowing, and I've actually checked with my neighbors before, and they're cool with it. But my wife gets so mad when I do this. I'll probably be doing it tonight because we we've been throwing away a lot of stuff. So right now, I live in Sugar Land, Texas. I live in Fort Bend County. I don't think all Fort Bend is like this, but we have the trucks, like you said. But if it's not in the can, they don't get it. They don't pick it up. Not like Thibodaux. Shout out to Thibodaux. I always said this, man. I don't the trash collection in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Hey, you guys are good. You can put if you got too much for the can, these guys will get out. You know, that's pride, and not like the yawns we got here, man. They won't. You know, and I got news for you, man. If they're dumping it and they miss or something like, they ain't getting out their truck.
No.
So
depends on the day here, I guess. You know, some might do it, but some not. You'll come back and you see cardboard and stuff, but or people got a big box and they don't break it down. They just put it on the side of the can.
So we have, I know our big, we got the biggest can they let you have. That thing's gonna be full. In fact, it's gonna be full where I can't close the lid. I mean, the lid's going to be sort of propped up like that with all the bags. But then my neighbors don't generate the trash I generate. And their cans are out there, and they're like a third full, a half full.
You just take up hey, man, you're not charging them any money.
100%. They're not paying by the pound, and it's not like they're coming out late at night to add more trash.
Yeah.
So my wife gets mad at me for borrowing somebody else's trash can. And I'm like, man, of all the things I can do to annoy neighbors, I don't think that's – I mean, I'm not putting toxic waste in their garbage cans. I'm just.
I'm not sure I would want somebody tossing dog poop in my garbage can.
Well, I don't do that. We don't.
Yeah.
I don't have.
Yeah, that's just on principle because
Yeah,
I'm bothered by people walking down the street with a bag of dog poop anyway. But
I got a feeling that a lot of people walk with their dogs with that bag just for show, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you look at it,
put a couple rocks in there.
You look at somebody walking with the bag. You're thinking, oh, at least that's a conscientious person. Man, that dog probably takes a massive, and they just keep walking. I mean, hey, I'm just carrying.
Look around, nobody see all of that.
Just carrying the bags, all I'm doing. But anyway, let's see, we got coming up to the end here, man. I jotted interesting things here. We talked about this last week, and I got to go down this road again about how music has changed ever since USAID went away. Rock music is sort of resurgent a bit, and all of a sudden you can't find rap anywhere. But up the road here, there's a place called the Woodlands. You've been there before, Cynthia Woods. Yeah. Okay, they get a lot of big shows. They're in the sweet spot, and so they can put with the pavilion covered area and the yard. They can put 15,000, 16,000. That's a decent size thing, right? This past week, these are the bands. These are the acts that I'm pretty sure sold out. I know the first two did for sure, and I think the third one did. During the week was John Cougar Mellencamp.
He's on a big tour right now.
Yeah, he's playing all the old stuff. He's the most miserable son of a gun in the world, but I
used to like him, but now it's just
I just he's
like
the
he's
epitome
the most
of
anti-American guy there.
Shut up and sing, bro. Don't turn us
him
off.
And Bruce Springsteen.
Okay, but John Cougar Mellencamp. One that I wish I could have gone to, but it just didn't work out, was Toto. Toto's hot now, man. Toto, they're sort of resurgent. Toto, and I forget who the warm-up act was. Oh, yeah, Christopher Cross.
Oh, wow.
Hey, don't sleep on him. He's
good.
Yes. I mean, he started Ride Like the Wind, Author's Theme. I mean, and then I think it was last night was the Black Crowes. Now, they're not my cup of tea, but they're good. They're good. But so these are the only acts now that people are going to see. Well, them in country.
Go.
Yeah, and then country, of course. You got.
Well, I heard something like right now, country's got the top 5 songs on the Billboard Hot 100.
What's her name? Ella Langley, I think, she's the thing. Now, here's what's something that did make me laugh. Okay, so everything's resurgent. I'm watching a clip, and it was in Detroit, which is interesting to start off with. Yacht rock. There was a yacht rock concert. Okay, so I guess they got and then the band Pablo Cruise. Right, you remember? That's the band you like.
Yeah, dude. I have yacht rock programmed on my Sirius.
So what's their song? Pablo Cruise was It's a popular song. I forget. I should have jotted it down, but it was I think it's Love Takes Time. Yes, it's far. I think that's their song. Anyway. I'm looking at the clip, and first of all, the audience is as old as Pablo Cruise. We started this podcast with my joke about my office now is as white as the country club of Caddyshack, right?
So was the Pablo Cruise audience.
Man, let me tell you. But here's the funny thing: in front of the stage, There's security. And man, they got this guy, this brother standing there with his arms crossed. He looked, he looks the part, security. And I'm thinking, does Pablo Cruise really need security? Like, is this crowd going to rush the stage?
Does anybody know if one of those dudes is actually named Pablo?
Man, listen, something tells me that this used to be wine cooler drinking. I don't know what they're drinking now, group. First of all, I don't think they're going to rush the stage. And second of all, ain't none of them in there could climb. They could not climb the stage.
Yeah, it's going to be a mighty slow rush.
It's not. You could get out of the way. I think they could save some. They could have a higher profit margin with Pablo Cruise on the stage if you weren't paying the security guy. And he had to be standing out there like thinking, this is the easiest money I ever made in my life.
It's kind of hot, but it's all right. So, dude, I was driving somewhere the other day, and the theme from Miami Vice came on.
Flashback.
Dude, and that was a pretty good song. It's got the percussion parts in there.
Shout out Raleigh Galliana, man.
Yeah.
Raleigh. Oh, dude, Raleigh bought, he had the light. He tried to be Don Johnson. He bought in.
Oh, I kind of remember that Riley with that look.
It worked for him, man. I mean, like I said, it just, but Raleigh, we bought into that, man. He had more money to buy clothes than I did, but yeah, he was into that. We probably all owned a shoulder pad.
Oh yeah, I just call them like waist jackets. Like they were just like short little jackets, and you'd wear them with.
Yeah, man.
But you're talking about yacht rock. So when I was doing physical therapy on my knee, they always had, I don't know, whoever controlled the music always had yacht rock on. And I heard this song, and I managed to pull it up while we're sitting here. And I guess it's from the early 80s by a guy named Benny Mardones.
Yeah.
The song was Into the Night. And the lyrics start, she's just 16 years old. Leave her alone, they said. Separated by fools who don't know what love is yet.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's kind of creepy.
Well, the song is creepy. The way that she's just 16 years. Oh yeah, it's awful.
But one of those things I'm saying, is this dude singing about hooking up with a 16-year-old?
And that they just let that fly.
Yeah.
And a shout out though, and we're gonna have to give this more time, and we're kind of closing here, but one other time. Shout out to ABBA, because there's an ABBA song called what is it? Does Your Mother Know? But it was just the opposite of that. So shout out because does your mother know? Take it easy. It's basically he's talking about he's doing just the opposite to like a young
guy.
No, a young woman that's attracted to him, and he's like does your mother know? Wait, I can dance with you, maybe. I can dance with you, baby. Flirt a little, maybe. Does your mother know that you're out? And basically, he was just saying like, hey, I'm gonna talk to you, give you the time of day, but nah. You a kid? Go home. Shout out to ABBA. ABBA was bringing,
ABBA was coming up. They'd be careful. You might get ABBA canceled.
Well, where Benny Mardones was like, what do they know? Oh, jeez. All right. Anyway, you know what, man? We covered a lot of ground.
Dude, we did. That's a lot.
I think the buffet has been laid upon you or in front of you, whatever it is. If it's upon you, that's kind of messy, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, we're going to push the button. Get on out of here. See if any of the stuff stuck to the magic tape up in the sky. We hope it did. We hope Elon's satellites are up there linking up. We know it's going to work once they start launching that stuff out of Crowley.
Bro, that rock is going to be like, pinpoint wherever it's going.
Well, it's not going to be exactly out of Crowley, but south. You'd be able to see it from Crowley.
Yeah.
You'll be able to buy yourself some boudin at Crowley and make it with
eat a link of boudin while you're watching the rocket take off. Even better yet, eat a link while you're watching the
nothing better. All right, we tell you every week, y'all, it's not a hint, not a suggestion. We're not implying anything.
No, man. It's a freaking mandate.
Get on there. Live your best life, y'all. Go for it. Hope you had a great day today. If you did, try to do it again tomorrow. The only downside, if you had a fantastic day today, it's kind of hard.
Right. Yeah, it's sometimes you just got to take the good.
Right. But
Talk
you know
it up
what?
as a win.
But let's say you had, on a scale of 1 to 100, you had a 95 day today. And you go out tomorrow, and it's only like an 88. You know
That's still good.
That's a high B, yo.
Yeah.
Not everybody in the world is having an 88. And then the next,
Yeah, if you grade on the curve based on the rest of the world, that could be an A minus.
man, you ain't lying. It's always saying. It's always saying, yo, it's for perspective. But yeah, we're gonna get on out of here and go live our lives. We'll get back together next week.
You'll be celebrating your birthday while this is airing.
This is true. This is true, and we will. We'll compare notes, and I'm gonna be a lot wiser starting tomorrow. Another year. I ain't caught Juan yet.
Yeah, well,
and I still have to work.
Maybe on wisdom.
I still have to work. Not like Juan. That's the easiest text I send all week. Hey, Juan, what's your schedule today? Wide open, bro. It's not even. Which is whenever, man. Do it now. Yeah. Do it later.
Yeah, whenever. I'm here.
Let me know. I'm just watching. What is it? Practical Jokesters.
Impractical Jokers.
All right. Inside story. We'll get to next time. All right, everybody. Have a fantastic week. Love you, bro.
Back at you, man. All right. Last week I said, when you read your old newspaper articles, I said I was going to bring this one. Oh. This is the Nickel's Worth. This is an actual copy. It's now good and yellow. From Thursday, March 19th, 1987.
Great year.
Just below the fold. Council votes to ban sale of alcohol after 2 a.m.
Boo.
An article by Julie Walters. Julie was a guy. I like Julie. I took her to the NXS concert at the Sanger on their Listen Like Thieves tour. I remember that.
Gee whiz. Juan with the connection to the person. Now I know why you were covered in the story. Okay.
So alcohol will no longer be available after 2 a.m. due to a 4-1 decision by the Thibodaux City Council. The ordinance will prohibit the sale of alcohol by all businesses in the city between 2 and 5:30 a.m. 7 days a week. All bars and lounges must be vacated by 2:30. Let's see, blah, blah, blah. The arguments in favor of the proposals were the number of calls police get for disturbances after 2 a.m., the influx of undesirables from other areas to the bars, and statistics given by the police chief at the first public meeting, blah, blah, blah. So we flip over to a page. Let's see.
That was one of those undesirables coming in, after, by the way, yeah.
So, you got some people arguing against it, then you got some people arguing for it. He said, let's see. It's already against the law to litter, urinate on people's houses, and vandalize. Juan Semino, a Thibodaux resident, said. Now, I'm just bothered that they didn't call me either a community organizer or a small business advocate. He asked how the police will enforce this law if they can't enforce the present ones. Pass by the pit grill some night at 3 a.m. and see how many cops are there, he said, in response to the number of calls police say they respond to during those hours.
Ooh.
Safe to say I made it out of there without being arrested.
I'd had my head on a swivel if I was you.
Bro, that was pretty rough. That was Juan being a jerk.
Well, but you made look with all the wisdom,
free enterprise, bro.
All the wisdom, all these years later, you made some points. I might have challenged, you can't stop people from peeing on the
right.
sidewalk now. Well, yeah, but it's a lot easier to catch you at 3 a.m. than it is in the middle of the maybe. I don't know. But that pit grill, huh? Hit him.
Yeah, that was it, bro. Other interesting articles in this thing, a little trip down memory lane. What did I see? NSU staff member, student star in Oak Alley play. That'd be Sid, our old buddy. There.
I forget the multi-talented Sid.
Yeah, the multi-talented Sid Loudervier.
All right.
And an article, Class Offers Spanish Fun, an editorial by Tom Garisco.
Oh, wow.
So
these are all people we know. You might know.
People we know, yeah.
We know they're alive, so shout out to those.
Now we know at least Tom's alive.
Yeah, we think Sid's alive.
Yeah. I know Tom's alive, so.
Not.
Somebody else who lives in Houston who I don't go see, but
yeah. It is what it is. You need to come see me next time and see all the new electrical outlet.
Hey, all right, yeah. I'll go make sure all your screws face the same way on the outlets.
All right, I'll check them before you show up.
It's over. Go home.